Hey, hi, how are you? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever and wherever it is that you decided to watch this video. And welcome back to Countdown to Shadows, a series in which I talk about the mainline Assassin's Creed franchise all the way up to the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This game released during an interesting year. 2020, everything was shut down, developers were working from home. It was just an awful time all around, and you know, everybody was at home playing video games. I know I was playing video games, so I was playing a lot of Call of Duty Warzone, Warframe, and also some Doom Eternal here and there. But it was this game that I was looking forward to the most that year, because it was at the time, the dream team. It was the team that made Black Flag, and I love Black Flag. So to see them tackling the RPG genre, seeing them talk about the improvements that they were making from Odyssey, seeing how they would tackle this new formula, and during the run-up to launch, it felt like everything they were saying was the right thing to say, and I was hyped for this game. So hyped, in fact, that I thought, oh my god, this is it. This is gonna be the peak of Assassin's Creed. This is going to be the best Assassin's Creed game of all time. And ultimately, what do I think about it? Well, it's not the best Assassin's Creed game of all time, but I love it. I really do love Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And a bit of behind the scenes here, because of the way I've been recording these Countdown to Shadows videos, I'm actually playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla right now in preparation for Assassin's Creed Shadows. And in playing it, I keep forgetting how much I love this game. I keep forgetting how good of a game this is. It has its issues, sure, but for me, those issues do not stop this game from being, as a whole, an amazing game to play for me. Combat in general feels more weighty, feels more impactful than it did in Odyssey. You know, the RPG dialogue choices, while not as impactful and doesn't change that much in comparison to Odyssey, it does make more sense in line with the character of Eivor. And in this game, you know, picking which gender your character is actually makes more sense in lore for this game, because the way they explain it in this game actually makes sense with the story they were trying to tell in this game. They actually made the gender choice part of the story, which is great to see. You know, England in general, while not as diverse as something like ancient Egypt or ancient Greece, it's still a beautiful world to explore, with the lush green hills, the brown cobblestone cities, the snowy mountains of Norway. It's just a joy to play. And one of my favorite aspects of this game, and it's an aspect that I've rarely mentioned in this series of videos, the soundtrack in this game is spectacular. And the soundtrack in Assassin's Creed game has always been top notch. They always hit it out of the park with the soundtrack. But something about this game's soundtrack just oozes mystery. It oozes mysticism. Not as much as Origins, because that for me is still king of soundtracks for the franchise. But this game, with Sarah Sassenger back from Origins, Jesper Kid coming back ever since Brotherhood, and the addition of Einar Selvik, it just combines to make an amazing soundtrack that deserves to listen on its own, because that main theme, beautiful. Now, one of the main criticisms people throw towards this game, and that I share some of it, is the length of the story and how the story is handled. It's not the best, because there isn't one overarching story. And if you remember from what I said in Odyssey, that game's story was separated into 3 different stories: the family, the cult, and the Atlantis story. This game takes it just a tiny step further, because there is the Conquering of Kingdom story, there's the Sigurd story with Basim, there's the Order of the Ancients story, and there's also the Vision story, the Odin story. There's 4 stories, and while the game does try to put them all under the same umbrella, except for the Odin story, that's an entirely optional thing, under the umbrella of, doing all of this is helping you as Eivor, leading the Raven clan and finding allies in this new place. They all put it under that one umbrella, but it doesn't really work a lot of the times, especially since what I consider to be the main story of this game being the relationship between Eivor, Sigurd, and Basim, and that story for me is the main story of this game. And I would have loved if the game focused more on that story. So overall, the individual stories don't really come together, but what does hold up really well is, in general, for me, the writing in this game is top notch. Darby McDevitt is the best writer for Assassin's Creed. So yeah, Darby McDevitt for me is the best writer this franchise has ever seen, for his writing in Revelations, his writing in Black Flag, and his writing in this game in Valhalla. He understands how to make characters interesting, he understands how to grip you with dialogue, and so the individual kingdom stories themselves, well, as a whole, the narrative doesn't come together that well. The individual stories in each kingdom is so good that it feels like they are individual episodes of a TV season, which is something that he said he wanted to accomplish with this game. And for me, he accomplished it well. And like I said, again, as a whole, doesn't really come together well, but individually, it works extremely, extremely well. And and coming from gameplay side of things, this really does improve from what... Another thing that this game improves from Odyssey is that, one-shot assassinations are bad. You don't have to find different gear in order to spec up on different aspects of your fighting style. Bows will one-shot the target if you level it up. Weapons will hit well if you level them up. The hidden blade, if you put the skill nodes in the correct place, the hidden blade will one-shot targets. And there's also an option to just one-shot targets with no needing to use skill points whatsoever. It's an option that's there, and I'm glad that it's coming back with Shadows. And it just works so well in this game. Social stealth coming back, well, a bit janky, doesn't really work that well in comparison to past games. I'm glad that it's back. It is something that gets improved upon again with Mirage. We'll get to that later. And in general, just raiding and the conquest, the Viking fantasy in this game is so amazing, and I love this game. Again, it's not the best Assassin's Creed game like I wanted it to, but as a whole, as a game, it is up there as one of my favorite games in the franchise. And in playing it right now, man, I always forget how good this game is. But with all that said, that is it for this video. What are your thoughts on Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Please leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss more on Countdown to Shadows, because the next time we meet, we will be talking about the last game on the franchise that was released before Shadows, and that is Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'll see you all then. Bye.